let's talk about the Mackie ProFX8v2. So we have 4 of these in our rental inventory, and we use them for more than just rentals. We use them when we do sound for acoustic shows, wedding ceremonies, small karaoke gigs. And, you know, I decided to do a video on this. We've had it for a while. It's not really a new product, but I need to buy 1 or 2 more mixers. And I thought, well, let's do a video on this because I've been debating whether or not to buy more of this mixer or if I should try something new. And I've just been kind of going over the pros and cons in my head about why I picked this mixer and whether or not we should keep this as our primary small format analog mixer. Now, one thing I will say about Mackie is probably one of my favorite things about Mackie isn't even the main product itself, but their cases. You know, as far as pretty much any equipment manufacturer goes, I would have to say Mackie has the best product cases of all. You know, a lot of mixer manufacturers don't even sell a case for their mixers, but Mackie sells a case for, I think, pretty much every product that they make. You know, that's designed to go on the road anyways. And they always fit good. They're good quality. I have never had a zipper rip out. On the handle, a couple of these I do have where the stitching is pulling away from the Velcro. That's not really a big issue. I've never had the shoulder strap break. You know, overall, I would say these are some of the best cases you can get. And I love that they make them for each of their models and that they fit perfectly. Nothing against Gator. I buy Gator stuff all the time. But when you buy a generic mixer bag, it never fits perfectly. It's always jiggling around in there. And if a company comes out with a case for their product, I always buy that case because it's designed specifically for that product. And Mackie makes good ones. DAS, they make pretty good cases. The case for their Action 12As are really good. They slide over nicely. They've got good padding. The case that they have for the Action 218A, you know, I don't know who they had make it, who the heck they gave specs to. The first ones I got were insanely thin, no padding. The holes cut out on the side for where the handles are didn't even match up. You know, I have no idea where they get their cases made. DAS makes everything in Spain, but they do have their cases made in China. But Mackie just always has good cases, so can't say enough about their cases. Their products, on the other hand, you know, I'd say for the most part get mixed reviews for reliability. Mackie's changed hands quite a few times over the years. I believe they just got bought out recently. I thought I saw a news article about it. I know they had the whole Loud Corporation changed ownership hands, and I think they got rid of Martin Audio recently, sold that off. So I'm hoping the new owners maybe focus a little bit more on reliability. And just back to this mixer, and enough talking about the cases, I think I'm just going to go over the pros and cons, kind of what I have going on in my head as to whether or not I should buy more of these or if I should look for something new. So the pros of this mixer, number one, it takes an IEC cable. If I have one pet peeve, it's just proprietary, like you have to buy this, you know, circle power plug because they always get ruined. Our American Audio VMS 4.1s, I bet for those things, just cables getting smashed into cases, I bet I've bought eight new adapters over the years. Just a complete waste of money, and you buy them and they're like 25 bucks a piece. But with an IEC cord, it's standard. You can get one anywhere. I mean, heck, I have a bin full of them sitting right over there. So I really like that it has an IEC cable. It's one of the main things I look for when I'm buying gear, either IEC or speakon. No little circle. I don't know what kind of adapter those are called. But anyways, IEC cable, awesome. I've never used the USB functionality, so I can't speak to that. When you look at the front of the mixer, it's got pretty much everything you need. I do like that input 1 has the high Z input, so you don't need a direct box. You can just plug your guitar right in if you're doing an acoustic show. Saves bringing a direct box. It's got a graphic EQ, pretty small, but it does come in handy here and there, especially if you are doing a monitor mix and they want it really loud, so you got to kind of EQ it a little bit to get some of the feedback out of it. It's got built-in effects; those are pretty good. You know, overall, it does have a foot switch if you're doing a solo acoustic show. I've never used the foot switch, but I feel like it would be handy if you were doing a solo acoustic show. You know, it's really an 8-channel mixer. Well, four mic inputs is the important part. You know, it does always annoy me when they say 8-channel mixer and you start looking at it and it's like, well, you got 4 mic inputs, 1 stereo, and the way they come up with 8 is it's like, oh, well, you take away these 2 mic inputs and we've got 6 stereo inputs and then 2 mic inputs. Well, you know, on the plus side, they're not counting the tape line in, because they could say, oh, Mackie ProFX8. But, you know, for a small format mixer, for acoustic shows, ceremonies, karaoke, anything like that, you know, it's got everything you need. The only thing I would say that I would like to see on this that you see in the bigger models is maybe 2 channels of compression. I mean, obviously 4 channels of compression would be awesome. I think you have to get past the 16 channel version, if I remember right, or maybe it is the 16 channel version where you get 4 channels of compression. But the price jumps up quite a bit. You know, other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say under the Pro category outside of the case, the fact that it has an IEC cable, and, you know, when you look at it feature-wise, it's got everything you need. Now onto the con category. Well, I guess it does have low cut too, that's handy. But con-wise, like I said, it doesn't have any compressors, and sometimes I find for karaoke you get somebody that, you know, your singers are all over the place. If I'm doing a karaoke gig, just because we do live sound, I've gotten so accustomed to using compressors when I'm doing sound for a band that it annoys me when vocals are all over the place. Sometimes I just want to squash it down a little bit, even it out nicely so it sounds a little bit better. So a compressor would be nice on at least 2 of the channels just for vocals. But for the price that this comes in at, I think it's at $249. You know, you can't really beat that. Part of the reason why I'm trying to decide whether or not I should order more of these mixers is I have one mixer where input 1 and 3 no longer work. Well, I shouldn't say it's not that they don't work. Input 3 does work, but you have to crank the gain all the way up, and then it still doesn't really sound like the volume's there, and input 1, I believe, just kind of crackles and kind of cuts in and out. So I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, and I have another mixer where I found input 1 also going out. So one of the things on my to-do list is to just go through all of our Mackie mixers and see which one the mic inputs don't work on anymore. And I've been putting little X's on them so I know. You know, I don't know if it's the preamp that's going bad, if it's, you know, something with the gain knob, but there's definitely something funky going on in there. And I've looked online for prices just to see if I can pop these open and replace something easily. It doesn't look like I can, so it looks like the ones that are breaking are destined for the garbage can. And that's kind of what gets me a little bit is I'm one where I would rather spend a little bit more money and have something that's going to be reliable and last until I choose to get rid of it, because I'm a big one where we sell our used gear. You know, I like our product cycle to happen because something new came out, I want to upgrade, and, you know, we're going to sell our old gear, buy new gear. I don't like our product cycle to happen because, oh hey, all of our stuff's breaking down and we have to buy new stuff. So that's kind of the downside of this mixer. I don't know, I haven't had anything else go out besides these inputs, but the fact that it's not just happening to one of our mixers, but two of the mixers for sure, and I've got to check out the other two to see if it's happening to those as well. And we've had these for maybe a year, 2 years maybe. I'm not sure the exact time frame that we bought them. We kind of staggered them out as we were replacing our old mixers, which were also Mackie mixers, and I didn't have any problems with those, but I didn't have them nearly as long as I've had these. And also, you know, keep in mind these are rental inventory mixers. Like, they probably go out on rental more than we use them. So I mean, they're out at, you know, every week, every other week for sure getting used. And, you know, rental customers, you know, they're not the nicest with gear, but it does come with a nice bag. So I can't think too much has happened. I have noticed a few splatters of pop on it and stuff that I've wiped off. It doesn't look like anybody's like just, you know, dumped a whole drink on top of them. But that's one concern for me, is that the mic inputs go out. So the thought is, you know, am I getting my money's worth having it work for about 2 years and then chucking it in the dumpster? You know, realistically, I probably am. So more than likely, I will continue the same path and just go with this, because it looks like, by doing some research online, if I want to upgrade and get something of equal or better quality, I'm going to spend another $100 a mixer. And I don't know if I really want to do that for the price point that we send our do-it-yourself DJ package out with, and, you know, just some of the price points on our smaller gigs. I don't want to go any cheaper. You know, I'm not going to go out and get a $80, you know, budget mixer. I want to stick with something that's got all the features that I need, has the IEC cord. So I probably will stick with this personally. You know, my final recommendation on it is kind of mixed. Normally I like to throw out a yes, I recommend this product, go buy it, it'll serve you well, or a don't buy it, it's a complete waste of money. But this one I'm very mixed on. It's a great mixer, all of the functionality is there, but I'm a little hesitant on the reliability. It's not that the reliability is horrible. You know, if you buy this, I am sure you will get at least a year or two of use out of it. And if you don't use it heavily, if you take care of it, you might get longer. But for rental inventory, like I said, we do a lot of 2-year rollover in equipment, sometimes 3-year depending upon the product. And I like to sell our used stuff. I don't like to replace because it dies. So, you know, if you're using it for you, you know, say you have an acoustic show, I would maybe spend the extra $100 and get something a little nicer. You know, I can't tell you what to get because I haven't owned a lot of 8-channel mixers to know what might have better reliability, you know, what might last you 5 years or longer. If you're on a budget, you could get this. Just know the mic inputs might go out on you after a year or two. It's just might just be a fact of having this mixer. You know, Mackie's not known for outstanding reliability. You know, the old Italian SRM 450s, you still see them kicking, but they were made in Italy. And, you know, these ones, once they moved their manufacturing to China, things got a little iffy, the products got pretty cheap, and for the most part, you know, their name kind of went down the tubes. I think over the last few years, with some of the products they've been coming out with, they've been doing a better job with it. You know, I still think they have a little bit of a ways to go between just being average equipment and really pushing reliability and quality up there. So I'm not going to tell you to run out and buy this. I'm not going to give it my 100% stamp of approval. I'm going to give it kind of a mixed. It'll work for you, but the reliability just isn't quite there. But I will say, for our rental business, I do think at the end of the day, even though I'm thinking really hard about whether or not I want to switch to something else, I think I'm probably just going to order 2 more of these and replace our broken ones, because they do go out a lot on rentals. So I do have to take that into account. You know, it's not something that we're just using in-house every day. It is something that is going out on rentals. I also will say, somehow our USB knob on one of them got kind of smashed in and bent. It still works, but it did get a little mangled. I haven't dropped any of these. Mackie likes to tout their built like a tank reliability. And maybe you could step on it, maybe you could chuck it across the room and it would still work. I'm just a little bit more worried about the electronics giving out. But anyways, that's my take on the Mackie ProFX8v2. Kind of, I don't want to say buy at your own risk, but buy it knowing it is not A-list equipment. I would say buy it knowing it's maybe like B-list equipment, and reliability might not be, you know, perfect, but it's definitely not the worst. You know, you can buy way worse equipment than this. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Have a good day.